I saw The Great Wall. And Steve, you saw Fist Fight?
Balls of Fury.
Dude, I actually just recently rewatched Balls of Fury. But also, I did.
I was going to say, you didn't have to watch Balls of Fury for the podcast, so I don't know why you...
I didn't have to watch it the first time I saw it.
Oh, all right, as long as you can admit that we're not the ones subjugating you to that torture.
Nope, that was voluntary.
Cruel and unusual.
All right, well, we're going to have to convince Charlie which one of our movies is better. So let's see that on the other side.
Are you ready for Movie Versus? Welcome to Movie Versus, the podcast where we pin two terrible movies in an all-out battle for the best of the worst. Here are your hosts, Tyler Lamb, Charlie Pixley, and Steve Janet. All on Movie Versus!
Hey everybody, my name is Tyler Lamb. This is Movie Versus, a podcast in defense of bad movies. Actually, the podcast in defense of bad movies. Not just a podcast in defense of bad movies. And that O was by my he was making his O face when he said it. Steve Janik,
I'm
my
just
co-host.
surprised.
24/7.
I'm just surprised that we're the only podcast in defense of bad movies.
You know what? I'm staking that. I'm putting that flag down now. I'm claiming all podcast. The forum.
All other podcasts are just imitating.
The forum that is podcasting. We are the podcast in defense of bad movies.
As far as I'm concerned, we're just the only podcast.
The only one I listen to.
Well, that's true.
You're self-centered.
And then that other voice.
It's research, Charles.
That other voice over Skype for one of the last times is my other co-host Charlie Pixley. What is up, Chuck?
Just ready to come back.
Ready to come?
Yeah.
On a back. Steve.
Getting on parole pretty soon. Get to leave the Slammer and head back to St. Louis.
I always like making jokes like that.
And from prison.
Just like Lil Wayne, dude. You're still making those joints while you're locked up. I always love making jokes like that and looking at Steve, and he just has this most like disapproved look, like he's my father. He's just like, really, Tyler? You made that?
It's that joke that we're doing. That's the only reason why I wish we did have a camera. It's just not even for you guys, just me, so that like people could know that I'm not involved with the things that you are saying.
Well, there are cameras.
Why the fuck would you tell him?
Well, I mean, he asked.
Well, supposed to just be
really,
for us. Nah, Missouri's like a one-way consent state, I think. You can bill people
I mean, that's
without
what
giving their consent.
that's what I tell myself.
Are there
Yeah,
are
that's all
there
that matters.
any one-way consent states? Because I'm really afraid that there might be.
I think there are for certain stuff. Like I remember when when Kim this is gonna sound so fucking stupid, but when Kim Kardashian leaked that video of Kanye West calling Taylor Swift and being like, "Hey, is it okay if I put this lyric in my song where I say that you want to have sex with me and I made you famous?" And Taylor Swift's like, "Yeah, it's all cool." But then, like, later when the song came out, Taylor Swift was like, "Fuck Kanye West for releasing this song," blah. And then Kim Kardashian released that thing, and Taylor Swift was like, "I'm gonna sue you guys because you didn't tell me you were recording that conversation." But they were like, everybody was like, "No, actually, it's legal for them to do that. They didn't have to tell you because in California you can do that with phone calls or something."
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, just state by state.
Yeah. So.
Like memes.
Yeah, they're illegal in some states. They're legal in others. And that's this week's lawyer log. Thanks for listening to the podcast. We talk about all things legal. We just basically say it may differ from state to state. and then we tell an anecdote about some celebrity if we have it on tap.
Remember, whichever is more punishable, follow that between federal and state laws.
That's some good advice. And so on this podcast, we watch bad movies and then we try to act like they're good, and we try to convince somebody that they're good. This week, Steve and I are convincing Charlie that the movie I saw, I'm convincing him Great Wall was good, and Steve is convincing him that Fist Fight was good.
Which, it's not going to be hard for me to convince Charlie that
Same here. I mean, I'm just saying, good. I'm using air quotes. I didn't think that I would have to tell you that I was using air quotes.
You should.
I have to convince him that it's good.
See, but now I can hear the air quotes when you say it like that.
Sorry, I guess you're right. This is a podcast. I should use more audio air quotes instead of visual air quotes.
I felt like you rolling your eyes made it more obvious in your voice than they were air quotes.
It's hard not to roll your eyes when you say it like that, honestly.
I know, it's virtually impossible.
So Charlie, since
I thought you put air quotes around just saying Steve, so you were just questioning his existence.
And
no.
Steve is going.
No, he's quoting from another thing. That's a quoting thing, not a sarcastic thing.
I was joking, Steve. God,
I don't understand what you're saying, Steve.
Well, the two things that quotes are really for is either they're speaking verbatim,
okay.
or they're emphasizing sarcasm.
Yeah, all right, I got you now. I thought, okay. Anyway, Charlie, we're convincing you, so go ahead and take the reins to this roller coaster ride. That's right. There are reins on this roller coaster that you're trying to.
Wait. So there's no safety harness. There's just reins.
You look like a madman at the front of this roller coaster trying to guide it.
I'm imagining him riding it like it's a bucking bronco with like a cowboy hat.
No, there are just dead horses that the cars push along the track.
Oh gosh!
And everybody is just saying goodbye to those horses, and that they're crying over them.
Steve, tell
Sounds
me about
of the Lambs.
Fist Fight.
Nobody sounds of the Lambs. Anyway, fuck you guys.
Okay, so sorry, Charlie. What was that?
Tell me about your movie.
Okay, the basic thing is exactly what it was in the commercial. It's the last day of school. Charlie Day is an English teacher. Ice Cube is a history teacher.
Alice Cooper is just singing a lot about how school's out.
Alice Cooper is just popping off. Just the entire movie. He's just he's not in the movie at all.
Shit.
Nuts.
You just lost your case, I think.
No.
Alice Cooper's in my movie. So.
No, he's not.
I know.
Oh fuck!
It's the last day of school.
Dragon.
It's the last day of school, and the kids at this school are insane. They pull pranks. They're really disrespectful, and the only person that I don't want to say respect, they definitely fear Ice Cube because he's insane, pretty much, and he just does not take any shit from anybody. He yells and keeps him in line. But basically, someone pulls a prank on Ice Cube, and he snaps and chops the kid's desk up with a fire
I
axe.
thought you were gonna. Okay.
You're about to win instantly.
There was chops his, and then the D sound, and I was like, what?
But
there's so many things too you could put in there that would give you the win.
But Ice Cube kind of threatens Charlie Day. Charlie he was like, teachers got to stick together. Don't rat on me. Whatever. We'll make it through this. But at the same time, this high school is going through a lot of cuts. They're firing like every teacher has to basically go through an evaluation and essentially re-interview for their job. And Charlie Day's wife is about to have their second child, so he's really freaking out about the security of his job.
Yeah, it needs money.
Yeah, so the principal basically says when neither of them say anything, the principal is basically like, well, I'm just gonna fire both of you. Like I don't care. Like we're trying to cut down. I'm just gonna fire both of you if neither of you can tell me what happened. And of course, at that point, Charlie Day narcs because he can't afford to lose his job. And that's when, of course, Ice Cube threatens to fight him, or says that he's gonna fight him. And then throughout the beginning of the movie, it's him trying to figure out a way to get out of the fight. Like, first he tries to maybe figure out how to fight. That's not working because he's Charlie Day. Then he decides that he's going to try and frame Ice Cube for drugs and, like, plant drugs on him and get him arrested so he doesn't have to fight him. And at the same time, he is worried because right before the fight, he has to go and do a talent show with his daughter. Like, they came up with a song and a dance, and they're gonna do it for her talent show. So he's stressing out about having to do that, like make it to that at the same time, get out of this fight, and then keep his job secure. And it's just all these things coming together of it all kind of happening at the same time. Like his evaluations at 2:15, the talent shows at 2:30, and the fights at 3. So he's just trying to like.
What a schedule!
I know. He's first of all, how close is this grade school that he's like, oh, I can do this interview for my job that's super important. 15 minutes before the talent show, make it to the talent show.
He's running around like the rabbit in Alice in Wonderland. Just like, I'm late for a very important date.
Exactly. And I know you made that comparison just because of how much Charlie hated Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah, but I don't think the bunny was he in the second Wonderland movie?
Yeah, for like 5 minutes.
Oh, okay.
but that's basically the movie. It's going through the fight, the ramifications of the fight, him trying to get out of it, and eventually the fight and the fallout of the fight.
Okay, so I'm sure we'll get into the details of that.
Oh yeah, I'm
later
gonna save that for the meat of the cast.
So meaty later on.
Tell me about The Great Wall.
Well, The Great Wall stars America's sweetheart.
Was it Joe?
No, the male. I was about to make that joke because my tattoo, but also the male sweetheart, Matt Damon himself, and he plays a. I think it's important to note his character because I think everybody kind of going into this movie, just based off the trailers, it made it seem like it was a Last Samurai type scenario where it didn't really make sense that this white dude is this. The leader, like the trailers made it seem like he was the head of the pack on the on the wall.
I think they mention it in the trailer, but it's like within like the first 3 seconds, and it's not even a character on screen speaking. It's like something where you'd miss it instantly.
They rely way too. I think that they relied way too heavily on his star power for the promotional stuff of the movie because I don't know if I would even say he's the main character. Because it's more of an ensemble between a few people. Yeah. But he plays, he's a part of a group of guys who they're trying to find gunpowder, essentially. They know it as black powder that, makes fire out of nothing. Yeah, so they're like, we have to find this shit. Like, it's stuff
like
of
4th of July is coming up in 300 to 500 years, and we need to make sure we are prepped.
It's like stuff of legend at this point. They're like, we have to find this because we hear this, and it's getting to the point where some of them are like, we don't even think this exists. But they're like, no, we have to do this, and then some stuff happens, and they end up.
Stuff happens, yada yada yada.
Well,
dragons.
I don't want to say too much about. He encounters one of the creatures and kills it, and then the next day, him and his only other surviving travel partner get captured by the Chinese army that's at the Great Wall. And they're like, hey, we're basically, we know you guys are fucking idiots. We're going to kill you. And then he has the arm of one of the creatures. And they're like, wait, you killed this by yourself, like on your own? And he's like, yeah. And they didn't believe him. But then they realize all that, like his sword has the blood. The arm is intact. Like all this other stuff. They're like, no, he has to be telling the truth. So they kind of say, okay, well, we're going to keep you alive for a bit. And then they get attacked, and Matt Damon's like, I know you guys are under siege. Like, you can't say. And the guy's like, yes, we are under siege. And that's when Steven Seagal shows up.
I'm so glad you made that joke because I was like,
I could tell the look on your face the first time I said under siege that you were like, oh.
The rest of the movie is Steven Seagal running the length of the Great Wall.
No, oh God, no. The movie was under 2 hours, so that's not possible.
Have you seen Steven Seagal run? He could make it.
Have you seen Steven Seagal lately? I don't think he's run since Under Siege came out.
That's a fair point.
But he, whatever stuff happens, and then he ends up kind of getting free of his shackles or his guard that was watching him because the guard had to fight, and then he also kills a couple of the creatures, and they realize, oh, he's really good with a bow, all this stuff, and
Were they all fully rendered?
Yeah, for sure. And then
That makes it sound like they weren't.
And then he kind of helps out with everybody, and he's trying to help out them he's trying to help them out. Sorry. And his kind of companion dude is like, dude, no, let's fucking escape. And we got Willem Dafoe over here, who's also a white dude that has been here for 25 years. So we need to escape like first chance we get, steal as much black powder as we can, and just get the fuck out of Dodge. And it's kind of like him kind of battling that and wanting to stay and help because he feels like it's the right thing. And then also the Chinese army, they're called the Nameless Order, I think, that specific army on the Great Wall, trying to fight back this these creatures before they, come in and destroy the whole world, really. Like, not just, their emperor and the capital, but everything.
Interesting. It's my first question that I wanted to get into because I realized that in different styles, these movies both have them, but it's something that could be a good comparison. So tell me about some of the fight scenes and what was unique about them, if there was anything. So let's go with Tyler first.
Okay. Yeah. So unique about the fight scenes. I'm trying to think of,
or just something that stood out to you. It doesn't have to be like groundbreaking.
Well, but I think one thing. So this was directed by I mean, I haven't seen any of his movies, but I've heard that it's a famous Chinese director. Mm-hmm. So there was a lot of those. The only thing I can compare it to is just, you remember Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, how it's kind of this surreal world where people are jumping super high and all this. It was an interesting mix of that, but with, like, you could tell he was directing towards an American crowd, but at the same time using his Chinese techniques, like as a Chinese film director.
Just blending them a little bit.
Or... Yeah. So there were moments and things where they were like, it was a little bit past they're like, oh, okay, this obviously isn't real, but then you think about they're fighting these creatures and they're doing this, and there were scenes like...
You start giving a little more leeway.
Yeah, you realize I mean, I know this might but just the ridiculousness of the whole plot of the fact that, oh, the Great Wall is built to keep off these creatures. So you're like, wait, no, then it makes more sense that there's these kind of mystical type things that go on.
I mean, the movie's ridiculous in its concept. That's fair. I mean, not in a bad way. It's just it is. It's fantastical or whatever.
It's like in like Arthurian like lore when there's a dragon around. Like there's a wizard. Like no one's questioning Merlin when there's a dragon.
Yeah, and I would say that the more so of the more main character over Matt Damon is this general. And she is in charge of apparently all of the female warriors. They do this kind of bungee jumping type technique thing that they have.
I remember from the trailer.
Yeah, apparently.
I thought you were going to say from G.I. Joe.
Well, apparently the women do it because they're lighter than the men, and the men are. It's easier for them to, because it's not a full they got to reel them back up after they jump off with these spears and they just stab the creatures, and then
Dude,
they like
that
come
sounds
back
awesome.
up. And so
that's so impractical.
It was very impractical. But I did think that was like this. Why wouldn't you just shoot but it was still like it was
she carries the spear back, like it's
silly visually.
It was very visually it was stylistic, and it was different. Like you were asking what is that what it was? Different? You used a different
things
word.
That stood out.
Something that stood out. That kind of thing stood out. I would also say something that stood out was the way
Matt Damon.
Well, yeah, I mean, in the crowd, honestly, I think.
No, he was never in the crowd. He was always just slightly.
I mean, it's always funny. It's always funny when the only two white characters in a movie are Willem Dafoe and Matt Damon. But,
wait, why is that funny?
I don't know. It's just the most offbeat. Like, I mean, especially that duo. Like, you wouldn't be like, oh man, you see that new Matt Damon and Willem Dafoe movie?
That's true. When you say Matt Damon, I immediately think Ben Affleck.
Yeah, or Ann Affleck, even Casey Affleck. You'd be like, oh, okay.
Well, now that Ben's more behind the camera, Casey's kind of.
Well, yeah. Now that Casey is the only one of the three that has won a Best Actor Academy
true.
Award. But it was just funny that his like bow skill, his skill with the bow and arrow was different than, it wasn't just like, oh, Katniss Everdeen shoots out an apple out of somebody's hand. Like, he does some tricks to show his skill, where he shoots an arrow and his buddy throws up a bowl and he shoots an arrow and it knocks the bowl over. I think it was in the commercial.
Yeah, I remember that.
It knocks the bowl over to a different direction, and then two other kind of like catch it against a pillar, which I think that is a different way to show like somebody's skill with a bow and arrow than just like, oh, I made a great shot out of somebody's
single
hand.
shot.
But he is like, I mean, it's super quick shooting these 3 arrows, and then so I would say those were unique and stood out to me.
Okay.
Very good. Steve, the same?
Well, when Ice Cube took that axe to that student's
desk, chopped it right off.
No, the fight overall, like, there's not a lot of fight because the majority of the movie is him trying to not be in the fight.
Correct.
So, like, there are a few scenes earlier when they're trying to teach him how to fight, which were in the trailer, so I'm not gonna really talk about that much. But the fight, it was a pretty long sequence. It was like a 5-minute sequence of basically like an underground, like, have you ever seen Lionheart with Jean-Claude Van Damme?
No.
Oh man, because in that movie, it's like an underground.
I can imagine.
It's kind of like an underground fight club. So the fight happens.
So it's any JCVD movie.
Yes,
because they all have underground.
Okay, sorry. So Bloodsport.
Yeah, I was about to say Kumote.
The Quest. No. But basically, they're fighting in the parking lot, and literally the entire school is there along with a bunch of other people. Because as soon as the fight happens, it's on YouTube. Like, it becomes a very big thing. Like, earlier in the movie, he's driving down the street and there's a sign.
That's weird because the same thing happens in my movie. As soon as it happens, it's instantly on YouTube. Like, it's just.
Well, you're talking about the full movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh shit! I thought he was too. My bad.
So, but the fight is brutal.
He takes an axe.
No. At some point, Charlie Day pulls out a stapler, not Rob Schneider, the stapler. I knew that's exactly where that was going.
I think he lost points that it wasn't Rob Schneider as a
stapler.
But
he pulls out a stapler and he hits Ice Cube's leg a couple times with it to kind of distract him because he is not doing well in this fight. He's getting his ass
distract him.
Yeah, with a stapler to the leg.
Well, look, he's on the ground and like Ice Cube's bearing down on him.
What's the sting in my leg?
Never mind.
He then pulls out a tennis racket and tries to attack, which Ice Cube takes away, slams it through his head, and then proceeds to swing him around by the neck with the tennis racket, throws him to the ground, and then flips it around and basically drags him by his throat with it.
Yikes!
A modern tennis racket over your head, I feel like would knock you the fuck out.
Because he breaks the webbing on it like instantly.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Then after that, Charlie Day kind of gives him like a around the waist tackle, and Ice Cube's kind of pushing him backwards, and they trip over a book bag, and it kind of leads to a suplex where Charlie Day like accidentally tosses him into a bus.
Oh wait, a moving bus?
No, just like a sitting bus.
Like,
Ice Cube gets a real good like German suplex on him, just like pile drive. Well, it's more of a pile driver. Pile drives him into the ground. Earlier, like all the kids are playing pranks all day, and one of the pranks is they baby oil an entire hallway, and they end up fighting in the baby oil hallway for a bit. So they're trying to stand up.
I was gonna say, so it gets real sexy.
Oh yeah.
They start hitting each other with their boners.
And then the principal's car was put inside the school and graffitied, and it ends with Ice Cube spearing Charlie Day into the windshield of the car.
With a spear.
I mean, the fight is a long, brutal, like winding road of a fight.
Like
so Ice Cube ends up beating him.
Yes, he does.
I would hope so.
I would just clarify.
Charlie Day gets a couple good. He knocks him down for a bit. He gets like a good hit, and he runs around the ring and is like, yeah, I did it. I'm the master. And then like Adam just gets trucked by Ice Cube.
By a truck.
Yeah. Gets it by, it's actually the end of Mean Girls. It cuts to the end of Mean Girls.
Awesome. I love that movie.
Charlie Day superimposed into the...
Yeah.
It'd be so shitty with like the box around him too. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. Tyler, tell me about a humorous scene in your movie. Surely there was at least one.
Oh man, I don't know if this was intentionally funny, but there was actually a lot of. There's actually a lot of.
Good way to start that question out.
Well, no. There was actually a lot of comic relief in the movie between. Essentially,
shots of Willem Dafoe's face.
Well, pretty much. Matt Damon's partner, like in crime or whatever, like his companion dude, is like their relationship is the comic relief. Like their back and forth is what is used as the funny stuff. But there was.
Who is it? Do you know by chance?
I mean, man, this might just be me being racist, but he kind of looked like the dude from Rogue One.
Diego Luna?
Yeah, I mean, and it was a Spanish guy. I'm gonna keep stalling here as I look up whether or not.
I mean, you're not stalling. You're just you're trying to remember.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to remember.
I really hope it is Diego Luna.
No, I'm just racist. It's a dude named Pedro Pascal. He apparently is in Narcos. He's Javier Pena. But
you disgust me.
In my defense, I guess at times I was like, no, it isn't that guy from Rogue One. But sometimes I was like, is it?
Let's just chalk that up to Rogue One being very unmemorable.
That's true. And he had that. It was the face. It was really the facial hair. He had the exact same facial hair. So I was like, oh, gotcha. Is that the guy? Is it? But there was a scene where after the big fight where Matt Damon kind of proves his worth, and so does his buddy. They prove their worth, and then they're like, "Hey,"
because of his bull throwing.
Yeah, exactly. And they're like, "Hey, clean up. Take a shower. You guys smell like shit. Like, you smell real bad. Shower and shave and all that shit." And they're like, "Oh, okay." And they shower and shave and then they enter. And then they're like, "Hey, just kind of." Willem Dafoe's like, "Just chill out here because they'll feed you. Like, you'll get meals. Like, just shave and shower, and then come to the mess hall, pretty much, and you'll be fine. They'll feed you." And they're like, "Okay." And they show up they enter the mess hall, and after they shower and shave, and they get a standing ovation, and I thought it was funny. Because the way they did it, the reason they clapped was because they saved, one of the soldiers, and they also, killed a couple of the creatures. So it was like, oh, hey, you guys helped us out, and we doubted you.
Gotcha.
Like, we'll clap for you coming in. But when they started doing it, I thought it was funny because I thought it was because they showered. Finally, they're like. And
congrats, you dirty bastards.
Thank you, God. I guess Buddha. Thank you. This is.
Are they Buddhist?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe that's just me being an idiot again.
I think they're Eskimos.
Oh shit.
I mean, they could be Buddhist.
But it was pretty funny to me just to see an entire cafeteria mess hall standing ovation to these people who just showered. And I don't know if it was intentional. I kind of feel like it had to be kind of intentional, but I was the only one that laughed. So,
I wish I got that.
Every time you showered?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. That's why.
I'm just going to have an applause button that I hit every time I get out of the shower.
A nice annual event.
Woo!
Steve. Steve, what's the funniest moment to you that made you laugh out loud?
The funniest moment to me, it was kind of like a running gag that happened. It was so Tracy Morgan is the gym teacher, and he's out on the field with a gym class. And these two kids are just mowing the lawn with I thought it was weird because they were mowing the lawn and they were just using home mowers, clearly personal mowers.
Yeah.
And Tracy Morgan's like, "Boys, you can't be out here mowing this field. Like, you're not doing it. And they're like, no, the principal said we could. Like, we really wanted to help out and pitch in to, like, make our school nice. And it's like, oh, well, that's very nice and industrious of you. And then they just start like, he leaves and they just start laughing, and it pans out, and they're mowing a giant penis into the field.
Timeless.
And then later on, they're chalking the field, and he's like, boys, you're terrible at chalking. Of course, that's the semen. And then later on, they mow in some boobs, so it's just a giant penis shooting semen onto a giant set of boobs. And that was probably, like, it was...
You made that the least sexual way to describe that.
I know, he told me about it earlier, and I thought it was funny how he... Well, no, when he told me it earlier, he said it was... a penis jizzing on boobs, and I thought you could say jizz, but you had to say penis and boobs, and you had to emphasize the P.
I hate you guys.
It was a donger ejaculating on some tits, you know?
No, Charlie, some titties.
Oh, yeah.
But it was just one of those things, like, it just, as it grew, like, you knew where it was going.
Something grew, all right?
Like, it just kept adding to it, and it, like, happened throughout the course of the movie. Like, you knew it was coming. Damn it.
Charlie Day and Ice Cube end up, like, fighting and falling down on the ground in the semen at some point.
Well, yeah. No, that didn't happen.
Oh, okay. I was like
a gag that they would do, though. Really, if I were making the movie, I would have them like stumble their way over there, and fall, give an aerial shot,
get covered in the chalk, so it's like they're covered in the jizz.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was pretty funny. And then there was also like a line, like at the very beginning of the movie, that it caught me off guard, where Tracy Morgan is talking about how he doesn't want to interview for his own job, and how he's got to wear. He like bought some pants for the interview so that he would look nice, because he always wears shorts because he's a gym teacher. And he's like, I can't believe they're making me do this to try and keep my job. It's all I can do not to get one of these kids' moms pregnant. And like,
classic Tracy.
Yeah.
That was improv.
And I just was not expecting that at that point in the movie.
It was minute 5.
And
it was just his first line.
And probably a pretty good line that happened is Jillian. I can't think of her last name. Jillian from
her real name is Jillian.
Yeah. Michaels from the Biggest Loser.
Jillian Jacobs.
But she keeps talking about how there's a set of twins, and she keeps talking about how one of them she's been flirting with all year, and the entire time Charlie Day's like, you need to stop, because don't you know like what happens to like teachers that do that? She's like, yeah, they always talk about like what happens, but they never say how the teacher got the student to sleep with them. But at the end of the movie, she finally like talks to the kid, and she's like, hey, we've been flirting all year, and he's like, I've been ignoring you all year because I've been trying to because I've been trying to drive you crazy for me. Like, and he's like, I'm done.
How old is this kid?
He's 18. He's graduating.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Because he's like it's 3:15. I'm not a student anymore. Let's do this. And it just like it caught me off guard, because the entirety of the movie, he was like thinking, like he kept looking at her like she was crazy. She'd be like, hey, how's it going? And he would just look at her and walk away. And so when he kind of 180'd on her, it was really funny.
Playing the game.
Can't hate the player.
Tyler.
That's me.
Was that ponytail pretty great?
The ponytail was awesome, because I would say the first maybe half hour of the movie, he didn't have the ponytail. Before he showered and shaved, it was just scraggly.
Buzz cut.
Yeah, it was just a buzz cut. And then when he showered and shaved, he actually shaved off his facial hair and put it on top of his head, and it was enough to make a ponytail. No, it was
That's why they clapped, because they were like, how did you do that with hair?
Ancient Chinese secret.
Yeah, it was a nice ponytail.
Honestly, forget the gunpowder. They would make a fortune with that secret technology.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, like I said though, I mean, it's just hard to say that he was the main character. There's just so much focus on other characters in the movie and other characters' stories in the movie. I think that that was the movie's biggest, I mean, there was a lot of stories about it being a box office bomb and all this, how much money they're going to lose. I think it was all because they advertised it as, this is Matt Damon.
It was kind of a bait and switch.
Fighting on the Great Wall.
I wonder if they had different trailers in China.
I'm sure they did.
That's a good question, yeah.
Because have you ever watched like the difference between American and British trailers?
No, I have not.
I've seen I watch international trailers and stuff sometimes.
No. There's like we should watch after this. We might want to watch it. If you look at the Pride and Prejudice with zombies trailer, it looks more like in Britain it portrays it more as a dark comedy, whereas the American version makes it look more like an action movie.
It was like an action. Yeah. Was it a dark comedy?
I think it's more of a dark comedy than it was an action.
Yeah. Wow, I just went off the trailer because I worked at a movie theater when that was coming out, and I saw that trailer a lot, and I thought that it was just like a action movie.
Because there's a YouTube video that just plays. It's kind of like a joke and I think that was more of a British made movie, and so it was like what the American box office did to the trailer to make it appeal to American audience. Air quotes on that one, everybody.
Yeah, he rolled his eyes. Don't worry. Yeah, I would imagine in China they would also say, "Hey, it's from this director," because he's a big deal out there. I'm pretty sure. Like from what I've heard, it was a big deal. This movie was kind of a big deal because it was his first, American blockbuster type movie.
Do you think they could have just said featuring Matt Damon?
I don't know. It's already kind of weird to me that I didn't know Willem Dafoe was in the movie.
Yeah, I didn't. Either.
They didn't mention that at all, and so I think that they really just relied so much on his star power, and I think
so too.
I don't think Matt Damon has that star power unless he's in a Bourne movie. If that makes sense.
I agree with you. Like Matt Damon, I enjoy Matt Damon, and if I see him in a role that I think is good, I'll be like, oh man, I kind of want to check that out. But you don't get the buzz unless it's a Bourne movie.
Yeah, he's a great actor, but he just can't really carry a movie, and
it's because of the movies that he takes just kind of always fall flat.
Yeah, he's not a ticket seller either. And Three Wise Media actually Three Wise Radio did a episode about the Matt Damon paradox or joke or whatever. Just is he a good actor because all these movies, but. I mean, yeah, they talk about that, so I'd say go check that out if you get the chance. But yeah, so the ponytail was great.
Steve,
sorry.
This question will go to you too, Tyler. But Steve, this movie took place in an American high school, so tell me about what animal hijinks there were, because surely there was some sort of class pet or something that went loose or attacked somebody. Was there?
Well, shit, that exact question is going to me too.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
There actually wasn't a whole lot of animals. There was just one. They kidnapped a horse, and
this is clearly a hijink though.
Yeah. No, they took a horse and gave it meth. And the horse was just
it's just a prank, bro.
Yeah, the horse was just on meth, just freaking out in this. I don't know where they got the meth or how they gave the horse the meth, but the horse was just freaking out, running around the halls. And at one point, they tie a rope around Charlie Day's legs, and they hit the horse, and the horse just freaks out running through the halls.
They give Charlie Day meth.
and they have these paint bombs set up throughout the school, so if you pass the tripwire, it sprays paint on you, and the horse drags him through a bunch of those, so he just gets splattered with paint as he's being drug around by a horse on meth.
Classic meth hijink.
Oh yeah, exactly. That horse was chasing the dragon for sure.
And when they talk about the horse being on meth, Jillian kept apparently she's on meth, and she keeps
what?
Well, she used to be on meth, and Charlie Day's don't take meth anymore. And then later on, something happens, and she's like, they don't even have the good meth. They just use some crap meth. I wouldn't even take that meth.
I mean, if a horse is taking that meth, I'm not gonna take it. It's always interesting to see movies' portrayal of drugs and any even just alcohol. It's who acts that way when they're drunk? It's always I always
people
question
that aren't actually drunk.
Yeah, exactly. I've never done meth before, but if you were a horse on meth, would you run around? Because don't people on meth kind of just like chill out and they're just like
no. People on meth get like.
Oh, maybe I'm thinking of heroin.
Crazy.
Maybe I'm thinking of
heroin's real sedative.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But no, meth kind of like freaks you out. No, because meth is the tweakers.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, shows how much I know. I guess I need to do more drugs.
I mean, like I have like a test on this soon.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say. I mean, I have like a ton of meth.
No, I will not have a ton of meth.
Test kit. Okay, Tyler. Animal hijinks
in a high school.
Just animal hijinks. Okay, that makes it make more sense.
I mean,
yeah.
Honestly, there were no other than horses. There weren't any animals in this movie, so
no, the dragons and stuff. I mean, are animals to me.
Yeah. What kind of hijinks? What kind of traps do they set for Matt Damon? How do they lure him off the wall?
I mean,
just like funny shit with the dragons.
Well, I need to clarify for you. They're not dragons.
What are they?
Go on.
They're
lizards or
they're aliens, dude.
Seriously?
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Awesome.
A meteor crashed, and every 60 years, these creatures come out and they attack and they try to push through the. And so the Nameless Order has been training for the past 60 years for this specific fight. They've already done it once before and pushed him back, but now they're trying to figure out how to.
I was wondering how they would have been able to build the wall, like if the animals were consistently living there, how they would have time to get that done.
Yeah, no.
But if it's once every 60 years or something, you could get it done.
It's like Pacific Rim with a longer time limit.
Yeah, well, and this actually kind of goes against the trailer again. Even the opening credits of the movie says that the opening critics say that, hey, they built this wall to keep out a lot of different shit. But they also, there was a secret. They kept out things. Some were of story, some were of legend or something like that.
Yeah.
And they said, this is one of those legends.
Oh, gotcha.
So it says at the beginning, like the trailers say, they built this. What were they keeping out?
Why don't they just why don't they just put a cage around the meteor? For those of you who can't see, Charlie is flicking me off right now.
Yeah, that's a great answer. Because fuck you, Steve.
So are there any alien hijinks?
I mean, they do.
Wait. Do they lure them all to a specific point on the wall with Reese's Pieces?
Not with Reese's Pieces, with dead bodies.
Oh, okay. The Reese's Pieces of Komodo dragon aliens.
They do pull a little prank on everybody, and they kill
whipped cream pie to the face.
yeah. They lure them in, and they end up being smarter than they thought because they're all like, oh shit, they're smarter than we thought because they
clever girls.
Clever girls. They laid these dead bodies out here for us to come out here, and then they killed the general. So, and he.
No, is it really General So?
I'm sorry, what?
Please tell me it was General So.
So.
Yeah. So they. So after.
Oh, so we're just okay. Just
so after General.
Never mind.
After the General. So he died, and. He was like, hey,
he was just
why do I have to ruin everything?
I don't think you ruined this one, Steve.
Yes.
And so General So
March,
dies.
Spring roll.
And he puts the girl in charge, and he's like, "Yo, they're smarter than we thought. We got to figure out how to fucking kill these people." And he puts her in charge, yeah. So I guess that was a hijinks. They're just like, "Oh,
got him."
Classic. I mean, there weren't really any animal hijinks.
I mean, both of those were not what I was expecting, and also that's good. All right, now for my different question. So you can think a little while about this. So, if this movie was the theme of an expensive wedding, what would the centerpiece of each table be?
So I got this covered. So. You said it's an expensive wedding, and you know how, like, at weddings you always
Hold on. He didn't say it was an expensive wedding.
I thought I did.
Did you say it when we were like not off the break?
No,
I thought so. I said if this movie was the theme of an expensive wedding,
okay.
what would the centerpiece
All right,
be?
I apologize then start back from the top, Steve.
I think I might not have. If not, just put in expensive.
Or just say, just double check. Steve, like I just asked him if, like you said, is this an expensive?
So how, like, what kind of wedding is this? Is this an expensive wedding?
We're not talking like a $200 million wedding, but it could be a fairly nice one where you'd be like, wow, this is nice.
Okay. So you know how like everyone takes, like, centerpieces are usually something that people take home.
Yep.
This is gonna be a slightly, probably more expensive wedding than you were anticipating. So what happens in this movie a lot is kids are setting up just laptops playing porn in places. They replace like the 1971 championship bat. They take the bat, throw it in the trash, and put up a laptop playing porn in the display case. And several times, Charlie Day walks in on a kid watching porn and masturbating, to which a point that Christina Hendricks thinks that he's a pervert and wants to stab him in the face. So, which is
Charlie Day?
Yeah, she thinks, because he walks in on this kid masturbating in the bathroom, and she thinks that he was like watching him in the bathroom, and so she thinks he's a creep.
Can you blame him?
No.
How many times does this happen in this movie?
It happens twice, and actually it happens in the fight. Like while Ice Cube and Charlie Day are fighting, they knock each other through a bathroom stall onto this kid while he's watching porn on his iPad, and he says while they're fighting on top of him with the door on top of him, "I still came." Yeah. So the centerpiece would be a laptop displaying porn that you could take the laptop home.
Oh shit!
This is a baller. Nice. This is a baller wedding.
That'd be nice.
Wow.
But you got to fight for it. Like there's one centerpiece per table. And there's like 8 people at a table at least. So you're gonna have to fight for this laptop.
Yeah, but it sounds like somebody who would come no matter what. So
I feel like this question is also a prelude to a movie that we may watch in the future, Table 19, which is about a wedding table.
Oh yeah, I saw that. I saw I guess a trailer for it. I don't know.
This episode brought to you
by Table 19 in theater. No, that's, I wish. I wish we had a sponsor.
I think it's on Hulu.
What, the movie?
Yeah, Table 19. Or maybe it was just a trailer.
I've
seen it for coming soon on Fandango.
It's out in theaters now.
Oh,
so,
okay.
Yeah. So is are you done with your answer, Steve?
I am done. The answer is laptop displaying porn as a centerpiece.
I'm gonna do the reverse route Steve did. I'm going to tell you the centerpiece.
Porn displaying a laptop.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna tell you what the centerpiece is, and then expect you to ask me what the fuck I'm talking about. So, the centerpiece itself. It will be surrounded by toothpicks that have little pieces of chicken on the ends of them. So kind of like steaks with heads on them. These are little General Tso's chicken around this, making a circle. And then in the middle...
So edible centerpiece. I like where this is going.
In the middle is going to be a big... just kind of pure in rock style, pretty much rock style, a magnet just sitting in the middle.
So it's the meteorite,
and that is going to be
aliens coming out.
That is going to be the centerpiece. And Charlie, I can tell by the look on your face, why a magnet, Tyler? Well,
it makes perfect sense to me, actually. Anyway, so I'm ready to make my.
So they find out in this movie that pretty much the only reason that Matt Damon was able to kill this alien creature by himself was because he had a magnet with him. And that's set up like they say, "Oh, hey, we got this magnet. Do you want it?" And Matt Damon's like, "Yeah, I'll take it." And they just kind of throw it away. They're like, "Hey, go pick it up, loser." And then when he walks away, they all get killed by this alien creature. And then later, they kind of look at these old diaries from the last fight. And they talk about, hey, we were fighting all these creatures, and then they kind of just stopped, and they stopped moving, and they kind of deduct, oh, this rock was the only thing left from this area. Maybe magnets fuck up with these, because they know that the monsters communicate with the queen, and that's how they've realized...
Are they hive mind?
Pretty much, yeah. They're hive mind. The queen communicates with all of them, and they only... move with direction from the queen. And what they do is they gather all dead bodies, anything, for the queen to feed the queen.
Oh, what's his name? Malcolm Razor? Is that who Matt Damon is?
I think you meant Macklemore, and no he is not Macklemore in this movie.
I think his name's Malcolm Razor, the guy from Ender's Game, the guy that first repelled the buggers in Ender's Game.
Oh, I know you're talking about.
It's like Razor Mackham or something.
I don't Cotton-Eyed Joe.
Where did he come from? Where did he go? He's more of Ender than he is that, because they realize, hey, we need to like magnets are our like tour de force. We need to fucking use magnets, and we're good.
How do they work though?
Well, I know. Well, no, this movie, I was
really trying not to make that joke.
Watching this movie, I was trying to figure out how I could make that joke. I was like, we find out a lot about magnets, especially how they work, stuff like that. But no, they test it. They like capture one and they test the magnet theory. It works, and then in the end, I'll go to final thoughts and all that stuff for the end stuff.
So like the magnet breaks off communication between them and the queen, I guess, or
yes. So
Okay.
they can have a single creature with like a little magnet rock, and that creature will just kind of, it pretty much goes to sleep because it just it doesn't move, it does nothing because it's getting no communication from the queen, and they rely on the queen pretty much 100%. So yeah, it's nothing without the queen. And they know that too. They're like, hey, we got to kill the queen if we want to kill all of them. But the queen has kind of a defense thing where all these creatures can sense or tell when there's an attack coming, and it's kind of like the spitters in Jurassic Park. They have those
Dilophosaurus.
Yeah, they have those little like manes that pop up.
Yeah.
That they make a shield around the queen and block off all.
So they create a phalanx.
Yeah. And so the queen's just in the middle, and anytime anything comes at them, they're just like, pfft, and pfft, like, it's like 300 Gerard Butler's like
does the queen look the same, just bigger, or what?
No, the queen actually looks distinguishably different than the rest of the pack. And same with the guys that put up the little shield stuff. They all look different than just the grunts.
Gotcha.
So that's my answer for Centerpiece. Magnet with General Tso's chicken.
How does the General Tso, are those like the?
Well, that's just a joke because we had to.
Okay.
I had to reveal. I guess I didn't have to, but I revealed that the general's name was General Tso. So
it really is.
Yes. I'm just gonna own up to it. Yes, 100%. General Tso was the name of the.
Seriously?
Yes. That was not a shitty joke on my part.
Oh, that's even better. Like, I don't know why you were making it a little ambiguous.
That's better. Funnier to me.
It's because I was afraid that was gonna be like oh wow, this movie is shit because that. And
right hand man, beef with broccoli.
And honestly, like I guess this is just my me being a shithead when I was watching the movie. But when he was dying and he said he had like one last wish, I was like, I was laughing to myself. I was laughing to myself because I was like, is he gonna be like my chicken recipe? Make sure.
Spread it forth across the lands.
but that's just me being an idiot because nobody else laughed at any. It's those moments in a movie where you laugh and you're like, oh wait, no.
Balls for eternity.
But yeah, that's Centerpiece.
Final thoughts then?
You go ahead, Steve. I just spoke about this movie for a while, so you go ahead.
The final this movie was pretty good, and what happened there is they kind of have Ice Cube and Charlie Day. They both get arrested when Charlie Day kind of tries to plant the drugs. So they end up going to jail, and they're kind of in jail. And at that point, Ice Cube says, this is kind of where the movie kind of turns into a little bit of an actual commentary of the education system. Charlie Day is like, man, why do you want to fight me even? He's like, Ice Cube says, at first, I wanted to do it just because you annoyed me, and you got me fired. But
And then they're all never mind. Sorry. I'm going to cut that out. Continue.
But then he decides that he thinks it's kind of a good idea to do the fight because it's so publicized and it's so known at this point, and he thinks that it might shine some light on the fact that like the education system is broken, and if the kids and the system kind of force two teachers to fight, like if it comes to this, like maybe it will shine some light on how broken the system is, and people will pay attention and they'll start getting the tools that they need to help teaching these kids rather than just it going to stupid stuff. Because at the very beginning, they have this new fancy coffee machine that can do all kinds of crazy stuff. Like you put in your order and you pick like your beans and how dark you want the roast and all that stuff. And he's like, we have this coffee machine, but I can't get a DVD player to show these kids a movie about the Civil War. Like this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And so it just kind of becomes this commentary on like teachers not having what they need in their classrooms, and it being more about not wanting to hurt the feelings of children and things like that, rather than actually trying to teach them. It's like running out the clock versus actually teaching children.
Makes sense.
So I was kind of surprised that it had that kind of a good message, and I was also pretty shocked because it's kind of like a parallel bully situation. Charlie Day's daughter is worried about this bully. It's like she's really concerned about what they're going to be doing for the talent show, because there's this bully that she goes to school with, Trisha. She's talking about, or she's really worried about her, and she keeps saying that Trisha's telling her that she's lame and all this stuff because they're going to be singing a song from Rent and doing like a dance, and she keeps on wanting to change it to a big
perfect
song.
Kid song.
Yeah, she would, but she keeps on wanting to change it to a new song. And
instead of 525,600 minutes, she's wanting to do like just 7 days a week and 24 hours.
No. So she wants to do a Big Sean song, which Charlie Day's late for the talent show, and
that's way different than
hold on, wait for it. She gets kind of like laughed off the stage because she's by herself.
You?
That is the song they sing. They sing "I Don't Fuck With You" to Trisha in the front row. She's like, "This song's for you, Trisha." She's like, "I ain't fucking with you," and they just
you little stupid ass bitch.
Yeah, they sing the parents are just in shock, and all the kids give her a standing ovation because they apparently all think this girl's a bitch, and like Charlie Day just goes with it. Her mom is way too cool with it, and then at the end of the song, like one of the teachers finally pulls the plug after a very long time. They get probably at least halfway to 3/4 through that song. And
I think the message is pretty clearly sent within the first 30 seconds.
Yeah. And Charlie Day at the end, he was like, I apologize for that song. I didn't know it was gonna be that bad, but I just kind of went with it. So all right, see you guys later. And then the daughter's like, "Dad, thanks. I think we did really good. I'm probably gonna get a lot of friends after that." He's like, "I don't think it's gonna matter because you're about to be expelled." So it was pretty funny. There was a lot of like stand up for yourself, stand up for the things you care about, because right before he goes to the talent show, Charlie Day kind of stands up to the administrators. He finds out that they have reached their limit on people they can fire. Like they need to retain so many experienced teachers, otherwise they lose accreditation. And they met that limit right before him. And they're like, "We're gonna have to cut in other places." And he's like, "Wait, where are you gonna cut?" And they're like, "You don't have to worry about that."
With an axe on the students.
And they're like, "You don't have to worry about what we're going to cut funding to." And he's like, I really think I do, because I'm a teacher, and you're talking about taking away tools that I have to teach.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of really comes together, and that's all. I might have one more thing to say at the very end.
I mean, what do you mean the very end?
Okay. I'll do the like. There's another really funny sight gag at the very beginning. They make fun of Charlie Day for being a pussy. So on the dry erase board, they've drawn a cat with like a cat dish, and he's like, "Oh, I get it, Mr. Pussy. Like you think I'm a pushover and I'm a pussy because I don't do anything, whatever." And he erases it, and everything goes away except like the cat turns into a giant penis, and it says "sucks" because they keep calling him Professor Dick Sucks.
Classic. That's the like draw a fucking elephant on the dry erase board, but do the tusk in a permanent marker so that when
exactly
they erase it's a dick. Charlie, I like how you're laughing super hard, like you've never heard this before. I feel
I might have even done it. It's just hilarious.
I was gonna say you might have been the fucking coiner of this entire.
But like,
is this just a shitting in the urinal scenario for you, where it's just funny no matter what you?
Yep.
It was just one of those things that like I've seen it before, but I just didn't expect it to be there. So like when it happened, I just started laughing.
And at least that is a little original doing it from a cat, because if you saw just an elephant face, you'd be like, oh, there's a dick there. Like that's which may have been better for your case with Charlie, because I think
you guys have seen that meme though, right? Where it's like how to draw a cat, and it's like first draw a penis, and then like add the cat features to it.
I haven't seen that. I've seen the how to draw an owl first.
It was like exactly that, and it was one of those things like it wasn't on my radar. So as soon as the erased and it was still there. It was very funny.
See, I've seen the draw owl meme where it's like step 1, draw outline, step 2, draw owl. It's like a full, but I haven't seen that one. You'll have to show me it. So I guess I'm going into final thoughts now on The Great Wall. So it was actually it was a lot of. It had a lot of comic relief, which was kind of welcome in this kind of movie, and especially because by minute 15. They're fighting the alien creatures like on the Great Wall.
Oh,
like
they're on the wall.
This shit went from 0 to 100 real fucking quick. Like it just went in before the half hour. They're under siege with Steven Seagal on the Great Wall. And
is that where Matt Damon got his inspiration for the ponytail?
I can't imagine he got it anywhere else. And so it was just balls to the wall from minute.
Balls to the Great Wall.
Damn it. Man, I could have won if I said that. But it was... And one thing I actually kind of appreciated, because one of the other main characters was a female... there was kind of some sexual tension between her and Matt Damon, but there was never any like
love triangle with the alien too.
Well, there was that, but that made sense. No,
that all came out naturally.
Yeah, the one they captured.
It was all very organic.
Yeah, Googie would have loved it. But. No, it was. They never like made out or fucked or anything like that. So it was nice to not have a forced love interest. Like, yeah, of course, since she's this, female character and he's the male character, there's going to be some tension of some sort.
Did the movie pass the Bechdel test? Did two women talk?
That's a good question. I don't think it did. I don't think it. Past the old Bechdel test.
All right.
What about the bungee jumpers?
I don't think two named female characters spoke to one another. I was
just curious because you said it had like a female lead.
And that's where the Bechdel test kind of falls short on some stuff, because there's no she never is just talking about a male character. There's never any, but yeah, and there are the female characters that she talks to, I think, but there's no other named female character in the movie.
Gotcha. I was just curious.
Yeah, no, it's a fair question. And it ends with this big, and this even kind of goes against the whole Matt Damon being the main character. He's not the one that kills everything at the end. He helps out because of his archery skills. He's able to get the magnet to a specific spot to stop the creatures from closing off their shield so that she can throw her spear.
Oh, that's cool.
Yes, she throws her spear through there and it ignites. They basically the creature that they captured, they just rigged with grenades.
Oh, nice.
and they're like, okay, now we just need it, because since he's dead, all the creatures will take any dead creature. Oh, no, wait, no. What they do is, he's not dead. They bring him out, and he's sedated from the magnet, and they have a cart of just meat, and he's rigged with grenades, and they just back up with the magnet. He wakes up, sees the meat, eats it all, and then takes it to the queen to feed the queen.
Gotcha.
And they're like, okay. And then once he's at the queen, well, I'll as the archer, I'll get a shot in and ignite the grenades, and the queen's fucked. But every time he shoots, they block it. And he's like, no, we got to go higher. And they go higher. He shoots. They block it. He's like, I'm out of arrows. And she's like, well, he's like, we only have one thing with gunpowder on it, and it's your spear. Like, we need to use that. Okay. And she's like, okay. And they set up a little swing, and he's like, I'll give you the shot. And he gets the magnet there just in time, and they shoot it in there and ignites it. And the queen's like, oh, fuck, I'll eat this shit, but it's not in time. And she blows up, and all the creatures pretty much die. They just lose all motor functions, right. And they're just like, it's kind of cool. And that's when they're going against the Capitol at that point. They get past the wall. They bury underneath the wall. They find out that they've been the creatures have been distracting everybody while they make this tunnel
that's
through the
awesome.
wall. And they're like, well, fuck. And they find the tunnel after it's like all done, and they're like, God damn it. But yeah,
those are some real El Chapo aliens.
yeah. So that's Matt Damon's ponytail. It was really good. So that answers that question. What's the next question?
Yeah, those are your final thoughts and everything.
Oh shit, those final thoughts. I thought we were still talking about Matt Damon's ponytail.
I mean, we are, but it's your final thoughts on said
I was only
ponytail.
enchanted for half of that, then it wore off. So step up your game next time.
Damn, are you talking to his ponytail or me?
Yes.
Damn it. That's pretty much all I got to say. Unless you have any more specific questions, that's all I got for final thoughts.
Not really. I think I've made up my mind. But I'm in an interesting situation. I think I'll go ahead and say what I'll pick, but then I want to go through and explain.
That's fine. I mean, I think you've been fairly fair and like open with your explanations and all the times.
Fair.
Barely fair.
Like you always seem to have like a good reasoning.
I feel like we all do. But yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna go with the Great Wall.
What?
Because I'm so like, hear me out.
Hold on. I just want to note that I feel like you're talking to me specifically when you say "hear me out." You're not talking to Steve and me, or just Steve. You're telling me, no, hear me out. This is what. Okay. Anyway,
everything about like Steve's movie sounds. Well, no, not even better, but. Just like, I'm sure it would be fun.
Wait a minute.
No, hold on. But your movie with the aliens and shit is more of an intriguing thing that would bring me to the theaters, whereas Fist Fight is something where if I see it on Netflix, I'd be like, oh, I'll pop that on. But
I gotcha.
After hearing about it, I'm probably not going to go to theaters to see it. Whereas with Great Wall, even though it's probably a piece of shit, I'll wait for you to explain, it's still intriguing enough that like it's still drawing me to it somewhat.
I got you.
I think the funny part Steve was telling me did sound quite funny, but I don't know if that would save it because like the boss had moments that were pretty funny, but I don't know that I'd ever watch it again, or if I would have gone to see it had I known.
Yeah.
About. If that makes sense.
I see what you're saying, whereas Steve's movie, the trailer we watched, is pretty much what that movie is. But then when I was talking about my movie, it was a lot of, the trailer made it seem like this, but that's not what it is. And so that probably made it more, oh, well then, like there's more mystery behind it because you're like, oh, well shit, it's not what that trailer made it seem like.
The aliens helped seal the deal.
Damn it!
Can we go into final thoughts then?
You both made
real thoughts.
Real thoughts. Sorry,
Steve especially. You made a good argument for it being like, since I'm sure it's just like a typical comedy, but you did make it sound very good. And if it is on Netflix or something, I will eventually probably watch it. But I just. Out of both of them, seeing myself going into the theaters to watch them, it would probably beat The Great Wall, even though I know it's probably dog shit.
I respect that as like the deciding factor. Like, even if you thought mine might sound a little bit better, like, what would you actually like? Which one did you actually want to like pay to see after this? And I think that's fair.
I think that's what it came down to. He'd watch Fist Fight on Netflix, but he'd pay for. So that's that makes sense.
It's like I'm almost paying to satisfy my curiosity, whereas the other one I know more or less what I'm gonna get. But I'm a sucker for like gimmicks, almost always. So
yeah, exactly.
I know myself.
and you're not gonna play yourself. So who do you want to hear real thoughts from first?
Let's go with Steve.
That sounds like such a loaded question.
Less likely to be bad.
I mean, this movie was fun. Like, honestly, the beginning was really bland. It was boring. It was kind of boring. Like, it was mostly just Charlie Day whining and running around. That call to 911 was literally the exact amount of time that it was in the trailer. Like, that's all it was. Like, it wasn't him like appealing to them and then them making fun of him. It was like a 10-second call to 911.
That's, I guess, good though.
It was
for the trailer.
They kept on having like different pranks throughout the movie, and like they were ridiculous and fun and kind of weird. At one point, Charlie Day kind of blackmails a kid, like not blackmails, but pays this kid blackmails Charlie Day to like change his story so that to get Ice Cube's job back. And so like Charlie Day buys him a new MacBook. So there was like some stupid, very like product placement sort of thing. Like give me a MacBook Pro with Apple Care.
Give me the new
like,
MacBook Pro with USB-C plug-in
and Touch Bar.
Yeah, it was kind of ridiculous. And I will say when the daughter started singing "I Ain't Fucking With You," I started cracking up, but it kind of just kept going for a bit. Like it went on a little too long. I was surprised that there was actually a message about the school system.
I thought you were gonna say the environment.
They all ended up getting fired, but then they all get their jobs back because there's so much press around the situation that they hire Charlie Day back, and he won't go back without everybody else getting their jobs back. So that's kind of a thing. And then even though he's a little crazy, Ice Cube was a good teacher. He was like, no, these kids don't get free periods. You know, if they're in my class, I'm gonna teach them something, and they don't mess around. Like that's what we're here for. Like I'm not giving these kids an inch. So it was kind of nice to see that they were trying to portray teachers in a good light, and that they care and they want to do what's right for the kids.
Mm-hmm.
Overall, I mean, there were funny parts and everything. It was just it started off a little slow, and it was a little gimmicky. Like it was just like, okay, Jillian's really addicted to meth and she wants to sleep with a high schooler. Like, gotcha.
Yeah. Okay.
And
is it something you'd watch again? You think? Like if it were on TV and you had nothing to do, or no?
I mean, I'd probably watch it again. Like it's definitely something that I would probably like play in the background. Like if I'm like playing a game and I don't feel like listening to like onboard sound or whatever. Like if I'm just playing a game that I'm having fun with.
Find your Hybrid Theory CDs.
Yeah. Just cut off Hybrid Theory
and Boy Next Door
and just let that go for a bit.
Man, that joke isn't stale at all.
Never.
Not even a little.
I feel like the Boy Next Door one is somehow more stale than the Hybrid Theory one.
That's because at least Hybrid Theory has some good songs.
And makes sense that you would be obsessed with it.
Dude, I have a T-shirt from when I went to see that concert.
That's why it makes sense, because it's true.
I mean, I do legitimately enjoy Hybrid Theory as an album.
I do.
I think you
not anymore as much, but it's a good album for what it was at the time.
Dude, that art.
that guy with the flag with the fairy wings.
Is that a flag?
I think he's holding a flag, and then he's got fairy wings.
Oh, okay.
Bug wings.
Oh, it's bug wings?
It's bug wings, dude. I thought he was a little fly, like fucking I didn't know what he had in his hands, but I was a kid. Anyway,
real thoughts
for me.
Yeah. You're the real
Steve,
thoughts now, Tyler. Yeah, I'm good.
All right. Well, since Charlie,
wait, hold on. Sorry, there was a good moment before
go ahead.
There was a good moment where
let it all out, Steve.
Jillian tries to mediate for them, and she brings them into like the Model UN room, and she just has them sit down behind a flag, and Charlie Day sits behind Israel. and Ice Cube sits behind Iran, and she's like, why don't you go to an allied nation? And he just like he knocks the Iran sign away and pulls in North Korea and just stares her down. I was like, that's a pretty good joke.
Nice little gag.
Very, very topical.
So Charlie, I would like you to put yourself. Let's kind of share shoes here for a second. So when you go see a movie, I'm sure you text your significant other and you say, "Hey, movie's about to start. I'll text you after."
Look behind you because I'm about to kill you, right?
Yeah. So your yeah, exactly. And so when the movie's over, you say, "Oh, hey, I'm out. Whatever."
Sure.
And so this is where I get from my significant other. I get a text message that says, and I just looked at it before to make sure that I got it down packed. It's not hard to repeat. She said, "So, how was the movie?" And I responded, "Ridiculous." It was insane. It was so.
Wait, so not only Matt Damon went in it, not only was Matt Damon in it, but Rob Dyrdek was in it.
Yeah, exactly. And it was just a panel making fun, laughing about the movie. It was some weird shit. The end credits was just Rob Dyrdek and his friends making fun of the movie.
Just Chanel laughing.
Big Black
was that
is
a dolphin?
the wall.
Yeah, have you not heard that girl laugh?
No.
Yeah, Chanel West Coast. Oh, gross. That laugh.
But it was just so weird and just so. I mean, the CGI was not good on any of the creatures. It like honestly, it was marginally better than that Twitter GIF that they posted.
Oh, yikes.
I mean, they were all very, very CGI, which and also the design was just really plain. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't like I mean everybody. You guys thought that it was kimono dragons, like
right? Yeah.
They weren't anything original, and it was just plain. It was original, but without being different enough. There we go.
They should have just called them Komodo dragons and just said that that's how that species was introduced to Earth, was from a meteorite or something.
I've been down.
Fair enough. Yeah, that could have worked. And honestly, that could have been what it was because Steve and I talked about this beforehand. I guess I have a bad habit, Charlie.
This was awesome.
So there was a point in the movie.
Breaking the habit.
There was a point tonight. There was a point in the movie where Willem Dafoe comes in and wakes them up, and he's talking about some bullshit. So I'm like, okay, he's talking about nothing. Perfect time. I gotta take a piss, and I don't want to miss something important. I'll make sure to do it now. I go to and there's a bathroom right across from my theater, so I'm like, perfect. I don't have to walk far. Go to the bathroom, take a piss, come into the theater, and as I walk in, there's apparently now Matt Damon is in front of the entire Chinese army regiment, and they say, and that's how they came. That's how the creatures came to fight us. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I missed every single bit of important dialogue that I could have missed. It had to have been the second I walked out of that theater. It jump cut to him in front of all of those people and them saying, so this is where they
tell you guys about everything.
I want to know, like, because you told me you looked it up later. If you had not looked it up, would you not have known they were aliens?
Correct. I would have not known. And I told Steve, Charlie, before we started recording, I said I thought about just making something up, but then in the back of my mind, I was like, no, because it would go way too long, and I know there would be some listener out there that saw this movie, and they'd be like, no, that's not what happened. How did you not know that?
It's better than fiction, dude.
And so I was like, I just had to look up the Wikipedia and just see what happened because.
So were you like shocked? Were you like, wait,
what went through your mind when you read like from outer space?
When I saw it was a meteor. Well, no, it made kind of because there always was this. It kind of looked like the Wizard of Oz, Emerald Kingdom. Like there was this rock mountain in the background that was this emerald color. So when I read that it was a meteor that struck that landed, I was like, oh, okay. But I was still kind of like, I mean, that's kind of fucking weird that. And then it said, oh, they attack every 60 years. I was like, oh, okay.
That's also a super weird like
Yeah,
like we just have to repel them for 6 or for how long? Is there like a time limit? Like how long do they fight for, or do you just have to kill the queen?
Dude,
like every 60 years, a queen and like her.
Oh, that's a great question. Is this a Matrix type scenario where it all just repeats itself no matter what? I have no idea. That's a good question. I didn't even think about that.
Okay.
No, I'm not gonna lie. I did not know. I assume that it's just we repelled them off long enough and then they're gone. But then they came back 60 years later and they know about this wall and they know that okay, let's just fucking dig around it.
Yeah.
But yeah, apparently I have a habit. If you listen to the past casts, I have a habit of just going to the bathroom at the worst time in a movie. One was for Legend of Tarzan. I came back and I was with my girlfriend, and I came back and she just said, "You missed the most insane scene from this movie." Another one, Steve, you told me because you've been listening to the old.
Yeah, because I was listening to some of them. You missed the key scene from Disappointments Room,
and he told me that, and I was like, man, what was the key scene? And no, he meant the key scene, like the scene with all the keys. I missed. I just have a habit that I need to break
I told him that he should just start drinking in the theater, and then when he has to pee, just be like, all right, we're gonna get something good here.
Well, and the thing is, and it's funny because I thought to myself, I was like, no, I can't go to the bathroom because I'm gonna miss something good. and I didn't have to go I didn't have to like go instant. Like I wasn't like, oh God, I'm gonna pee my pants. I was just like, no, this is where I should go. Because if I wait any longer, it's going to be a good part, and I need to just I need to go when I get the chance. This looks like it's bullshit. And I came out, I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
Arguably, you didn't miss a good part.
Yeah, I just missed the explanation to everything. Yeah. And it was kind of funny to me. I guess this goes into the whole like realism differences, but I mean, in this time period this is taking place, the fact that this woman was a general in this army, I was like, is that, especially in the Chinese army, are we really?
Well, but you're in a Chinese army where like females are an integral part of repelling these attacks.
Yeah, they did good. They did a good job of being like, oh, she's in charge of this whole group that they do this, but also. That was stupid. Them doing those bungee jump things, because those girls got eaten real bad.
I was thinking that.
All of those. And they're all bungee jumping off of the thing and killing them, and then they get eaten. Meanwhile, the general girl is doing like fucking backflips and she's just stabbing everybody and then bunging them back up. I'm like, why are you doing flips? You don't need to accidentally get caught up in the cable that you're wearing. Like, what is
just another spot for like for things to go horribly wrong.
And there were great moments as well, like I feel like you would probably enjoy some of this stuff, Charlie, because there are moments where it's so impractical. I just thought, that's not how that is. Like,
yeah, that's not how you bungee jump and kill an alien lizard.
Well, no, more of that's not how the Great Wall is built, because like sides of the Great Wall would just open and they would have giant fucking scissors that just started cutting the aliens in half as they crawled up.
Why did you not say that earlier?
And then there was a scene where Matt Damon, when they're trying to capture the one creature, Matt Damon is like, I'm going in. And he jumps off and he slides down the chain. And then he's down there and they're doing whatever. And after he pretty much mission accomplished, but he kind of passes out with his buddy, like they get knocked out for whatever reason. Then you just see the Great Wall, just door opens in the ground level of the Great Wall, and they drag them all in. I'm like, I don't think
it's a Great Wall reimagining.
Yeah.
Well, to me, this whole movie sounds like if the CGI were good, which you're saying it's not, but if it were good, it's just like a sizzle reel showing like what they can do. Like, this is the kind of shit our company can do. Like, look, it's a Great Wall with scissors out of the side that cut aliens to climb up.
Like, were they like giants? Like two people required to run these scissors?
Way more than two. There were like at least 4 to 6 people on each end of the scissors, pulling them back and forth to make They're pretty much two just huge blades that were made into a type of scissor thing, and they were cutting these aliens in half. Was it
like a slave rowing situation?
Yes,
like
100. Yes, they had a general there that was saying no. And there was this goes into they had these like little like
and wait, hold on. Did the aliens keep like with ones that saw the ones getting chopped up, did they keep crawling up?
Yes. I mean, they're all just acting on a hive mind. The queen tells them to climb up the wall, they're going to climb up. I mean, and if they have an infinite, amount of troops that the queen just breeds out, I mean, she's probably not too butthurt about. And she eats the ones that are killed, so it doesn't matter.
So it's literally win-win for them.
Yeah, they even say that they eat anything. And there's the first scene in the movie, well, not the first scene in the movie, the first scene that they fight them. When they retreat, they drag all the dead creatures back with them.
All right.
So like it shows like, and that was kind of like
and this is all a distraction technique anyway for the tunnel.
Exactly.
So it's kind of like a whatever.
And it was just so. Man, I feel like there's something else I wanted to say, but it was just so. I mean, General Tsao was just that shit blew my mind. They said it more than once, so it was like
I thought you were just messing around. Like I can't believe
I thought they were messing around as well. So we're all on the same boat. It was. There were a lot of color. The directing was cool. I feel like there was a little bit too much reliance on. Spectacle, if that makes sense. Like as far
too
as
much wire work.
Well, no, not just that, but just the CGI. Especially since they put so much in. They would have had to put so much into the creatures that they wouldn't have been able to, divvy it out to everything else, and then that showed because they had to do that. Like if you've got an entire antagonist that is 100% computer generated, you're gonna need to do a lot. You're gonna need to figure out how to make things better. Willem Dafoe's character was useless. He dies, near the end of the movie, I guess, because I think he blew up. I don't know. They don't really
So he just got really big and got a better acting job?
Yeah, he blew up. He got real popular. No, he gets captured because they try to escape. Every time these motherfuckers try to escape, they just get captured by the same people. And he has all these grenades and stuff, and he's like tied up. He's like, no, and these people just throwing the grenades into their fire that they made, I guess.
Wait, they just like, man, get rid of this grenade here in the fire.
I mean, in their defense, I guess they don't know what grenades are because nobody knows what the black powder or the gunpowder is.
Wait, so I thought but.
Well, these guys are no. These people know. It's like just the generals know it. So even after they have to, when they have to use it, when Matt Damon and his buddy are there, they say they're like, you shouldn't have seen that because we know that this will probably spread across everywhere. Like everybody will want this. You shouldn't have seen this. Like this is a big deal that you saw this shit go down. Like they're
gotcha. Okay, that makes more sense.
So they're just like throwing these grenades in this fire, and Willem Dafoe's like, no, but he's tied up and he's gagged, and then there's just an explosion. I guess he died. Like
that's how he died.
Put that in your argument.
What'd you say, Charlie?
You should have put that in your argument.
I mean, it doesn't matter. I won, I guess, but this movie was just silly and ridiculous, and it was just, I mean, yeah, it was just kind of dumb. I mean, I say dumb a lot, but it was just kind of dumb. It was, yeah. I'm glad I paid $5 to watch it.
Yeah, fair enough.
So that's. I went on long enough talking about this movie.
I think overall I still made the right decision because you didn't say that it was like total horse shit unbearable. At least,
I mean, I respect it. I feel like I'm definitely not gonna win this year.
This year?
No, like went out on because last year me and Charlie tied.
Oh, okay.
I feel like this year I'm gonna be in the red.
I thought you were saying
That's
that
still so early.
I thought you were saying that you're not gonna win at all this year. I was like, whoa.
I mean maybe yeah, you're right. There is a lot of year left, but I'm just saying like I'm having a bad start.
I mean, I'm having a lucky start. I haven't done this good in the past year.
Fair enough. Always got to be someone.
Fair enough. Well, you just said that. Wow. Anyway, since I'm repeating
Fair
everything
enough.
Steve says,
It's gonna be a real boring cast from here on out.
there's
Just
going
said
to be
that.
a real boring cast.
No, stop it.
All right, I'll stop it.
Fair enough.
And so, Charlie, you chose The Great Wall over Fist Fight, which means I win this round. So, looking at the Rotten Tomato scores of, I guess we'll start with Fist Fight because that's
That's the one you have pulled up
correct
right now.
That's the one that came up first. Charlie's doing some great
Calisthenics.
emotes, some good pantomimes for Fist Fight. We got I'm at a different angle. Oh man, that is a great more pantomimes from Charlie. Kids at home, probably not good for you to listen to this podcast at all. Why are you listening to this?
Also, how do you have access to podcasts?
I mean, a lot of kids have iPads now. There you go.
Okay.
Just the family has an iPad where they're like, watch Netflix, get away from me.
No, that's
It's
true.
my day only had iPod touches.
Now that I think about it, my niece does have a Kindle that she watches like kids programming on.
That's same here for my
Which I'm
niece and
pretty
nephew.
sure she ended up like accidentally buying a whole
Porn?
bunch of like episodes. No,
Oh.
just like a bunch of episodes of like some kids show that my sister like didn't have. So like she spent like $30 on just some random episodes because I was like,
So they kicked her out of the house.
yeah, oh yeah. Well, until she pays it off. She's
Exactly.
living in the backyard.
Which I mean, at that age, you can pay it off real quick.
What?
I disagree with all of it.
This is a weird ad. This is a different angle that the computer's usually at for me, so this is kind of weird for me to read. Fist Fight is at a 27% on Rotten Tomatoes, which average score of 4 out of 10. Out of 102 reviews, 28 of them are fresh, 74 rotten.
I mean, four, that's dangerously close to fresh.
That's
Isn't it?
that's dangerous. 4 out of 10 is close to just a 100% average movie.
Yeah.
Like that's, I mean, and again, the Rotten Tomatoes score is pretty much just these critics either gave it a thumbs up or thumbs down. It has nothing to do with their out of 10 score. So, I mean, it could have had a 6 out of 10 and still be rotten, or
Right.
could have a 6 out of 10 and be fresh. Like, it's just whether or not they recommend it for whatever reason. Critics' consensus being Fist Fight boasts a surplus of comedic muscle, but flails. Wait, is that fails or flails? This angle is just so.
Dude, I cannot read that far away. That is literally impossible for me.
All right, hold on. Comedic muscle, but flails lazily, and far too few of its jokes land with enough force to register.
I can agree with that. Like that's a reasonable assessment.
And a positive review would be Fist Fight isn't there to make you think, but to make you laugh, and it mostly does.
That's pretty accurate.
But then a rotten review represents a missed opportunity given the talents of this charismatic and game cast.
I do agree with that. Christina Hendricks barely felt like she was like. I don't understand why Christina Hendricks was in this film.
Another rotten review being the final bell couldn't come fast enough. Or all the amusement value of a smack in the mouth.
Dude, there was a funny scene where Charlie Day gets hit in the head by Jillian. Like, she just sucker punches him. And she was like, oh man, if that hurt you, you should run away.
I thought you were just gonna end that. Like, there was a funny scene where Charlie Day got hit in the head.
Well, that ties into this rotten review. If you've ever wanted to see a squeaky voice actor get punched in the face, then Fist Fight has your name written all over it.
Dude, that is terrifying how accurate that is.
And then I'll read one more fresh review, and then I'll switch over. A consistently intelligent, or at least bright, coherently constructed comedy that is on occasion a rather pointed critique of the American education system in the early 21st century.
I mean, that sounds like pretty accurate, like pretty much what I said.
True.
It was a little more highbrow with its language, probably because it was being typed. If I was gonna type this thing out, I would make it sound a lot nicer than how I phrase it to you guys.
And then Fist Fight was at a 27%. Great Wall is at a 35%. Average rating of 4.9 out of 10. 179 reviews, 63 of them being fresh, 116 being rotten. The critics' consensus is Oh man, I'm gonna butcher this name because I don't know this direct. I don't know how to pronounce this director's name. For a Yimou Zhang film featuring Matt Damon and Willem Dafoe battling ancient monsters, The Great Wall is neither as exciting nor as entertainingly bonkers as one might hope. So
that's disappointing.
I think that kind of accurately describes
that sums it up.
With especially a movie with Willem Dafoe. It should have been more just insane than it was.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, he should have been like the Lizard King or something, or one of the lizards.
That would have been great. It would have been.
Oh, if he was a Trojan horse.
Of course, it'd be Dafoe.
It would have even been great if that motherfucker fought at all. He was not a part of any of the fights. He was just like he's been there for 25 years because he was also like. He was a part of a group of mercenaries that were trying to get a hold of the gunpowder. And then I don't know why they just kept him around. I don't remember. They might have said that. I don't know. I might have been in the bathroom. Yeah, I was in the bathroom probably.
No, because he probably told them about it like in the night.
Probably.
And they did that right before it cut to Matt Damon.
Rotten review. If this is the future of motion pictures, God help us all.
No, it's the past because it's back when the Great Wall was made. Idiots. Sorry, I've been watching a lot of The Office recently, so I'm channeling Dwight right now.
Fresh review. A pure spectacle. The Great Wall is absolutely dazzling, which that is insane of a review if I've ever had one. Another positive review. The real stars of the film are the Chinese actors. 28-year-old Jing Tian is wonderful as a female leader with the order who commands a strong presence. I would agree with that 100%.
Good.
She is more so the main character of the film, and she does great. Their armor and the costumes are actually really cool. Her and the entire female brigade are in this like light blue armor that just looks really cool. Each sect of the Nameless Order has their own color.
Oh, that's cool.
So the archers are all red, the bungee jumpers are all this light blue. You know, they all have their own. And then there's this medallion that the general holds that has it's like a gold medallion that has each one of the colors of.
That's
yeah.
Cool.
So it all kind of fits to what they're doing. So that was, you know, she did a great job, and she was more of the main character than Matt Damon, I would say. But she's not a big name in you know, America, so that
not yet.
Not yet. Yeah, it's true. Another rotten review. With such a big canvas to lay such cliched material upon, The Great Wall really does feel like placing a Big Mac upon gold-plated silverware.
Yeah, that's dope though.
Yeah, so the Kingsman.
It just makes me think of like seeing somebody. It's like a Seinfeld-esque scenario. You see somebody eating a Big Mac with a knife and fork, and somebody's like, "Are you eating that Big Mac with a knife and fork?" And they respond, "Yeah." How do you eat it? With your hands?
Yeah. So like essentially just Samuel L. Jackson in Kingsman.
Yeah. So they copied George eating a Snickers bar.
Yeah.
All right. So another fresh review. A splashy, old-fashioned monster movie. Stupid enough to amuse audiences from any culture that enjoys watching folks fighting giant lizards that are from space. I added that last part.
From space.
What a bummer that all Chinese masters Zhang Yimou? Man, I'm just butchering that name. I know it. And Hollywood star Matt Damon come up with a B-level creature feature with delusions of grandeur.
Very pleasant.
Its epic imagery, the rows of soldiers, the rain of spears, the surging forces is undercut by the Saturday matinee cheesiness of the concept. Excuse me, J.R. Jones, Chicago Reader, top critic. I saw this on a Sunday matinee. So, both these movies are just pretty plain as far as. I mean, there's not even any good.
I will say that I was shocked at how big the cast was for my movie, and how it was just kind of like, okay, I guess it's these people. Like, this is the kind of movie that's like a breakout role for people, you know, like they get noticed for this movie, but they didn't really do anything because they're just kind of like the guys in 40-Year-Old Virgin, just like Paul Rudd and them, like they were all kind of there, but they're not big parts of the movie. But they kind of have their own like little moments. And overall, most of them aren't like really big actors at the time. But they do kind of grow from these roles. But these are like Tracy Morgan is a pretty known quantity.
He's an up and coming comic.
Yeah,
well, I mean, this is his first movie since his accident.
Right.
So that's actually a pretty big deal. So
and then like Jillian is kind of known because she did 22 Jump Street and is big on Workaholics.
Amazon Eastbound and Down season 4.
Eastbound and Down season 4. Christina Hendricks, who's like super well known from Mad Men and all these things, but she's not really comedy.
She's super well known from Christina Hendricks' boobs.
Yeah,
I mean, honestly. Mad Men and
she really revealed herself in that role.
And then the principal's actually played by, I can't think of his name, but the guy that played Hank in Breaking Bad.
Oh yeah, okay, I know who you're talking about. And yeah, for some reason I can't think of his name either, but yeah, I know exactly who you're talking about. And actually I looked up Tian Jing. You said that she's not a big name in Hollywood yet. But
no, Tian Jing. I don't know if she is or not.
No, but I just kind of clicked on her name. She's actually also going to star in Kong Skull Island coming out.
Oh, cool!
Coming out later this month, and that's already getting great reviews. So maybe she actually will become
might break over.
Switch over to the American side of acting, which is kind of cool.
Which is cool. Like I
think I might have to do a double feature next weekend.
Oh yeah,
I hope they're bringing. It seems like the actors of ethnicity are getting more and more roles, and I hope it keeps.
Well, not even just that, just different. I mean, that's a different continent.
Yeah,
but
that's
cool.
But there's not a lot of leading roles for ethnicities. Like they tend to whitewash things. But like Diego Luna made a big splash for being for having an accent.
Yeah,
and things like that. And I think it's becoming more acceptable and more big. There was a lot of a lot more representation of ethnic actors in the Oscars this year.
Yeah, Hollywood's becoming more diverse, and
I think it's good that they're not just like jamming white people in roles and
exactly. And I'm kind of jealous of apparently in like L.A. there was a Kong VR experience thing because one of my ex-professors when I was out in LA posted a picture of these people. He's like, yeah, people are loving the Kong VR experience. There's like a huge line and people putting on this VR headset to do, I don't know what it was, but I'm like, man, fuck them. Like
I would think probably like helicopter or something flying by Kong and he grabs it or whatever.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
That'd be awesome. Like that'd be a great experience. That movie's gonna be cool.
Or maybe going through like the crawler tunnels or something.
This month already we've got movies that I'm behind on, and this month there's movies that I want to see. We got Kong, Power Rangers. I feel like there's more coming out this month, and then also we got Logan, Lego Batman,
Let's all start
John
right
Wick.
now.
I just saw Lego Batman.
Oh, you did? Yeah. I mean, I saw Get Out, so I'm.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. So we can talk about both of those on the prequel.
Yeah.
That sounds. I'm excited about that.
But yeah, other than that, next week, if you listen to the cast, which I'm sure you are right now.
I mean, if you've gotten this far, you're probably locked in.
Next week, you'll find out who is seeing the movies, what movies they're seeing. I'm gonna just throw this out there. There's gonna be a little special surprise there for not just the prequel episode, but for the full episode as well. We're just gonna keep that under wraps until it comes out. So
I'm really glad I didn't say anything.
Keep those ears tuned to the frequency for you to be able to hear them. Steve, you're looking at me.
I was just thinking. I was
the
just
new
thinking.
CW remake show.
Oh shit!
Oh god!
We need to write that down. So just sell the name.
I was just thinking. I feel like we need our own like phrase for the listeners, like something movie related for what they should be doing every week to tune in.
Okay. What do you got?
I don't have anything yet.
Like shithead or something.
That's why I wasn't going to say anything, but then you forced me to talk.
I didn't force you to do.
You were like, Steve, what do you want to? And I was like, I guess I'll say that I feel like...
Keep listening to our podcast.
Yes. Yes, do that.
That's the call to action that Steve wants us to add to. No, yeah, maybe we'll think of something by the time
this week.
Yeah, the next episode or something.
Right.
Who knows? But yeah, other than that, if you have any suggestions or you want to just tell us that we said something stupid, wrong, you want to anything, if you have anything to add to the conversation, we will read your responses on the prequel episodes, and you can contact us at our email, which is movieversuspodcast@gmail.com. That's movievspodcast@gmail.com. Same thing for Twitter. If you tweet us, even if you just use the hashtag movieversus, we will check that out. We're on Facebook as well. Check out Three Wise Media. Check us out on YouTube, Three Wise Media YouTube channel. The episodes are posted on there as well. Other than that, check.
Don't forget Good, Bad, or Bad, Bad.
Yeah. You know, our good friends over at Good, Bad, or Bad, Bad. They have they post some quality content.
Yes, they take a lot of care adding in making sure their jokes have proper clips.
Yeah. So check them out on YouTube. They're also on Twitter as well. I think it's Good, Bad, or Bad, Bad for that, and Facebook. Charlie, do you have anything to add as far as plugs or anything?
Not really.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, I'm just trying to. Thanks to Jeremy Lamb for the theme song. This is a full episode. Scott Blackwell for the image. And then, are we all good on plugs, boys?
I believe so, because no one has paid us to do anything yet.
Not yet. Is this the full episode? Is this?
I believe so. Put this one in the can. So. Put this one in the can.
And do what with it?
Send it.
Speaking of plugs.
Bye.
Butt plugs.
I thought I could be more subtle than that.
Movie Versus is a production of Three Wise Media. For more information, check us out on Facebook.